Have you ever scrolled through Twitter late at night and stumbled upon something so chilling it kept you awake for hours? Well, back in 2017, millions of people experienced just that, all thanks to a single thread that became a global phenomenon. This is the true story of Dear David, a ghost story that unfolded, tweet by tweet, right before our very eyes. It all started with Adam Ellis, a writer and illustrator living in New York City. On August 7, 2017, he posted a tweet that would kick off one of the internet's most famous hauntings. He wrote, "So, my apartment is currently being haunted by the ghost of a dead child and he is trying to kill me." A bold claim. But Adam wasn't joking. He explained that for months, he'd been having sleep paralysis, a terrifying state where you're awake but can't move. But this was different. During one episode, he saw a child sitting in the green rocking chair at the foot of his bed. This child wasn't ordinary. He had a massive, misshapen head with a deep dent on one side. Adam was frozen in fear as the boy got off the chair and slowly shuffled towards him. Just before reaching the bed, Adam managed to wake himself up, heart pounding. But the image of the boy was seared into his mind. A few nights later, the dream returned. This time, Adam was in a library when a girl approached him and said, "You've seen Dear David, haven't you?" Adam was confused. "Who?" he asked. The girl explained, "Dear David. He's dead. He only appears at midnight, and you can ask him 2 questions if you preface them with Dear David. But never, ever try to ask a 3rd question, or he will kill you." Of course, curiosity got the better of him. In his next dream, David appeared again. Adam, remembering the girl's warning, decided to test the theory. He said, "Dear David, how did you die?" The ghostly child mumbled something about an accident in a store. Adam then asked, "Dear David, what happened in the store?" David replied, "A shelf was pushed on my head." It all made sense: the dent, the strange shape of his head. Then, without thinking, Adam made a critical mistake. He asked a 3rd question, "Who pushed the shelf?" The moment the words left his mouth, he knew he'd messed up. David didn't answer. A chilling silence filled the room. Adam woke up in a cold sweat, realizing he might have just invited something terrible into his life. After that night, things started to get real. The haunting spilled out of his dreams and into his waking life. Adam began documenting every strange occurrence on Twitter. It started small. His 2 cats would gather at his front door every night around midnight, staring intently at it, as if someone was on the other side. They'd just sit there, fixated, sometimes meowing or hissing at nothing. Adam filmed it, and the videos were unnerving. You could see the genuine fear and confusion in the cat's behavior. Then, objects started moving on their own. He posted a video of a small, turtle-shaped trinket on his shelf inexplicably rocking back and forth. He'd come home to find chairs moved, pictures tilted, and a general sense of unease in his apartment. He even started hearing strange noises, faint whispers, scratching sounds coming from the ceiling, and the distinct sound of something small being dragged across the floor in the apartment above him, which he knew was vacant. To prove he wasn't making it up, Adam set up nanny cams around his apartment. He wanted to catch whatever was happening while he was asleep or out of the house. The results were terrifying. One morning, he reviewed the footage and saw the green rocking chair, the one from his first dream, moving on its own. It would rock slowly back and forth, as if someone was sitting in it. The video was clear, and there were no strings, no tricks. It was just an empty chair, moving in the dead of night. His followers were hooked, and the Dear David thread went viral. People from all over the world were tuning in daily, waiting for the next update, offering advice, and debating whether it was real or an elaborate hoax. The activity continued to escalate. Adam started taking photos through the peephole of his front door whenever his cats would stare at it. At first, there was nothing. But then, he captured something. A dark, shadowy figure lurking in the hallway. The images were blurry and distorted by the peephole's lens, but there was no denying that something was there. The shape was small, almost child-sized. The online community was in a frenzy. Was this David, now waiting outside his door? Feeling increasingly unsafe, Adam decided to take a break. He moved to a different apartment upstairs in the same building, hoping to escape the activity. For a while, it seemed to work. The strange occurrences stopped, and things went back to normal. But it was just the calm before the storm. A few weeks later, he started noticing strange things again. First, it was the sound of something small being dragged across the floor. Then, he noticed a small, dark stain spreading on his ceiling. Over time, it grew larger. He poked it, and found a small, child-sized shoe inside the ceiling. He was horrified. He decided to go on a trip to Japan to clear his head, but even thousands of miles away, he couldn't escape. He posted a photo from a park in Japan, and his eagle-eyed followers spotted something terrifying in the background, a small figure with a dented head, peeking out from behind a statue. It seemed David had followed him. When Adam returned to New York, the haunting reached its terrifying climax. The strange noises were back, louder than ever. He would hear coughing and sneezing coming from the living room. One night, he couldn't sleep. The sense of dread was overwhelming. He grabbed his phone and started taking pictures of his dark apartment, using the flash to illuminate the space. He snapped a photo of the hallway, then his living room. When he looked back at the pictures, his blood ran cold. There, standing in the darkness, was the figure of a small boy. His face was partially obscured, but the distinct, dented shape of his head was unmistakable. It was David. In a series of terrifying photos, Adam captured the ghost moving closer and closer to him, from the hallway to the foot of his bed. The final image is one of the most chilling photos you will ever see. David's face, illuminated by the flash, right next to Adam's bed, staring directly into the camera. His features are distorted, his eyes black and empty. After that night, the updates became less frequent. Adam eventually moved out of the apartment for good. He never gave a definitive final update, leaving the story open-ended. The Dear David saga remains one of the most compelling and terrifying ghost stories ever told on the internet. Was it a real haunting, meticulously documented in real time? Or was it an incredibly well-crafted work of fiction by a talented storyteller? Adam Ellis has always maintained that it was all real. To this day, millions of people who followed his journey are left wondering. What do you think? Was Dear David a real ghost, or the most brilliant horror story the internet has ever seen? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this dive into one of the internet's greatest mysteries, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content just like this. Stay safe out there, and maybe think twice before you ask a ghost a third question.